There's a voice inside your head, and it talks more than anyone else in your life. It comments when you're getting dressed, whispers when you're about to speak, and yells when you try to chase something bigger than yourself. It sounds like you. But what if it isn't? What if the voice that tells you you're not good enough, not ready, not worthy, isn't really you at all? Most people never question it. They assume it's their conscience, their intuition, their gut feeling. But that voice, it's a master of disguise. It hides behind worry, perfectionism, guilt, and logic. And it's not just talking, it's controlling. That voice, the one you're so used to hearing, was carefully constructed. Not by you, but by every harsh word you've heard. Every moment you felt unloved, unseen, unworthy. Parents, teachers, strangers, society. Little by little, it stitched itself together out of everything that once hurt you, and took up residence in your mind like it belonged there. This voice doesn't guide you. It guards you, but not in the way you think. It doesn't want you to grow. It wants you to stay safe. And to it, safe means small, invisible, silent. So you shrink. You apologize too much. You doubt yourself even when you're right. You call it being humble. But deep down, something feels off. You're about to find out why. Because that voice, that impostor, is hiding something from you, something powerful. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Let's begin. It never shouts. The voice in your head prefers whispers, subtle doubts dressed as logic. You might fail. They'll laugh at you. It's safer not to try. It doesn't feel like sabotage. It feels like protection. But protection from what? To answer that, we have to look behind the mask. This voice isn't evil. It's afraid. Afraid of pain, rejection, embarrassment. The moment you tried and got hurt, it remembers. The day you spoke up and got shut down, burned into its memory. So it built a cage, a well-decorated one, lined with rational excuses, padded with realistic thinking. But a cage all the same. And every time you dream too big, speak too boldly, love too openly, it tightens the bars. What it hides from you is the truth. You're capable of far more than it wants you to believe. Because if you believed in yourself fully, you'd become unpredictable. You'd take risks. You'd evolve. And that terrifies it. Because change feels like danger to the mind that was wired by fear. So the imposter does what it does best. It impersonates your better judgment. And you listen, thinking you're being smart, cautious, responsible. But all the while, you're feeding a story that was never yours to begin with. A story written by fear, edited by shame, and narrated by a version of you that stopped growing the day you got hurt. But what if that story isn't finished? What if you could take the pen back? We're not here to silence the voice just yet. First, we need to understand how deeply it's shaped your identity, and how much of you it's hidden. In the dark, the next layer, it changes everything. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, when did I decide who I am? Was it a conscious choice, or did you simply inherit it, like a hand-me-down coat stitched from other people's fears, labels, and limitations? The voice in your head, the imposter, it didn't just plant doubt. It built an identity, a false self, and then convinced you it was you. You weren't born thinking you're too much or not enough. You didn't come into this world questioning your worth. Those beliefs were given to you, and because you were young, you accepted them, without protest, without proof. Maybe you were told to quiet down. Maybe you were praised only when you achieved. Maybe love felt conditional, so you kept performing just to feel safe. Little by little, you stopped asking, "What do I want to become?" and started asking, "What do I need to be?" So they'll accept me. And that's how the imposter gains power. Not by screaming, but by slowly replacing your truth with survival. But here's something it doesn't want you to know. You are not your trauma. You are not your past. You are not the echo of other people's wounds. You are the awareness beneath the voice, the part of you that watches, questions, seeks. And that part, it's waking up. The imposter has had your mind long enough. But your soul? That's untouched, intact, and it's ready to speak again. The mask is slipping, and what lies underneath it isn't broken, it's brilliant. You've heard it before, only faintly. In those rare moments when the world got quiet, when you stood on the edge of something new, when your heart beat faster, not from fear, but from possibility. That voice was you, not the imposter, not the critic. You, the version of you that never needed permission to be bold, the one that didn't wait to be perfect to begin, the voice that once screamed with laughter, dreamed without limits, loved without apology. But life buried it, layer after layer, fear, judgment, expectations, until that voice became so quiet, you mistook it for silence. Now, you're starting to remember. That quiet strength, that inner pull towards something greater, that sudden feeling that maybe, just maybe, you're more powerful than you've been told, that's not a fantasy. It's a memory, a return. The imposter's greatest trick was convincing you that it was protecting you. But now you see, it was only ever protecting itself from your truth. And now that truth is rising, you don't need to fight the imposter. You only need to stop feeding it. Every time you choose compassion over criticism, courage over comfort, action over avoidance, you weaken its grip. And in its place, your true voice grows louder, not because it shouts, but because it speaks with certainty. You are not broken. You were buried. And now, you're unearthing yourself. So when that voice comes again, telling you to stay small, to play safe, to blend in, smile. Because now you know who's talking, and you no longer have to listen. Call to action. Walk away from the voice that dimmed your light and become the echo of your own awakening.